Chapter 32-22, Into the Starry Sky. Bam! Wang Xian's dragon claw grabbed the body of the supreme elder of the Horned Seal race. Scram! Seeing this, the Horned Seal race's supreme elder's expression changed drastically. He roared with a look of horror as a giant golden hammer appeared in his hand. Wang! Ah! In the next moment, a terrifying flame force surged into his body. Fire countered metal. The supreme elder of the Horned Seal race turned red and trembled. Shit! Oh no, supreme elder! Attack him! Beside the Horned Seal race's first supreme elder, over 1,000 universe venerables saw this and their expressions changed. Their eyes were filled with horror. Unexpectedly, a person suddenly attacked from below. This made them nervous as they waved the weapons in their hands and slashed at Wang Xian. Ha ha ha! You want to destroy our dragon palace with just you? Wang Xian laughed. His figure flickered as he grabbed the body of the supreme elder of the Horned Seal race and dodged their attacks easily. No. At this moment, the supreme elder of the Horned Seal race, who was on the verge of collapse, let out a desperate cry. Wang Xian waved his arm and kept his body. What? That's the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. Damn it, he actually killed the Supreme Grand Elder. Lord Protector, help. When they saw the first Supreme Elder get killed, the group of supremacies was horrified. The Supreme Elder of the Horned Seal race was a rank 5 universe venerable. He was killed by the Dragon King in an instant. How could this be? Wasn't the Dragon King only a rank 4 universe venerable? Could he have broken through? Everyone was embarrassed. The venerables of the Horned Seal race hurriedly asked for help. Their Lord Protector Golden WOM was refining the acquired treasure and did not come out immediately. It's your turn now. Now that a 5th Order Universe Venerable expert had been slain, Wang Xian had nothing to worry about. The 5 elements grindstone appeared above his head as he flapped the unbeginning saint wings and charged towards the 1,000 venerables. Attack him! Seeing Wang Xian's attack, the venerables of the 3 major races in the sky were horrified. They immediately released terrifying energy towards him. Bam bam bam! The 5 elements grindstone spun above Wang Xian's head and blocked all the attacks with ease. Roar! Wang Xian let out a deep roar and transformed into his divine dragon form. His humongous dragon tail swept towards them. Not good, dodge immediately. Dodge, quickly dodge. The sudden attack of the terrifying dragon tail caused everyone's faces to reveal a horrified expression. The dragon tail contained a terrifying aura that made them feel suffocated. Bam bam bam! More than 100 universe venerables couldn't dodge in time and were swept by Wang Xian's dragon tail. Their bodies flew backward and were almost dead. He is very strong. We are not his match. One of the elders of the twin races cried out in alarm as his expression changed drastically. Isn't the Dragon King a 4th Order Universe Venerable? How did it suddenly become Tier 5? And such a terrifying Type 5 expert at that. The woman from the Snake Charmer race roared with bloodshot eyes. Hee hee, people like you want to annihilate our dragon palace? Wang Xian said in disdain. He swayed his humongous dragon body and charged towards them. Clang! Dragon King, you're courting death. At this moment, a terrifying attack suddenly came from below. A resplendent crown emitted dazzling golden rays. The swords and sabers on it crossed and attacked Wang Xian. Bam! Wang Xian squinted his eyes when he saw the acquired cardinal treasure that was attacking him. Without Wang Xian's command and control, the 5 divine dragons on the 5 elements grindstone roared furiously. The entire 5 elements grindstone spun and turned into a terrifying flame that smashed towards the crown. Boom! A terrifying collision sound could be heard as the postnatal treasure crown fell to the ground. In this collision, the 5 elements grindstone had the upper hand. Of course, this was also because the acquired cardinal treasure had not been fully refined. What? Below, the respected golden WRM appeared. When he saw the crown falling, his expression changed drastically. Even though the acquired cardinal treasure had not been fully refined, he could still unleash some of its powers. However, he was at a disadvantage in the collision with the Dragon King's treasure. This made his eyes narrow. That's it. I'll annihilate you first. Wang Xian locked his gaze on the respected golden WM. He moved and swooped down with his dragon claws. His body slowly emitted the terrifying power of flames. The true dragon body allowed him to switch between the 8 attributes in his body at will. Under such circumstances, he could perfectly restrain his enemies. What a fast speed and terrifying aura. The Dragon King has broken through. Sensing the Dragon King swooping towards him, the respected golden WM was shocked. He could no longer sense the aura of the first Supreme Elder. In other words, the first Supreme Elder had been killed. This made his heart sink and a tinge of panic flashed in his eyes. Scram! With a jerk of his body, his entire body expanded to 1,000 meters in size. His long golden tail swept towards Wang Xian. TSK. Wang Xian extended his dragon claws and grabbed at the golden tail. Bam! The dragon claws collided with the golden tail. The 5 elements great grindstone landed on the dragon claws rapidly and imbued it with energy. Ka. The dragon claws grabbed the long tail. Wang Xian's eyes were cold as he swung it down forcefully. Bam bam bam! The sacred hall below collapsed instantly. Wang Xian swayed his body and appeared below the respected golden WM in the next second. What a terrifying speed! The respected golden WM, who was falling, was shocked when he sensed the Dragon King below him. Divine crown protection. He let out a deep roar. The acquired cardinal treasure crown hovered above his head and shrouded his body with golden laws. It's useless. Bam bam bam! Wang Xian looked at the respected golden WM, who was shrouded in golden radiance. His dragon claws landed heavily on it. Roar! The fire divine dragon on the 5 elements great grindstone roared and launched a terrifying fire pillar. Ka. The golden laws surrounding him cracked and collapsed gradually. No, Dragon King, stop. At this moment, the venerable golden serpent's eyes were filled with fear as he roared. Bam! Wang Xian's dragon claws penetrated the golden light defense and landed on his body. The second rank 5 universe venerable from the Horned Seal race was dead. Gulp. This air in the sky, the remaining venerables from the 3 races were filled with fear and despair when they saw the respected golden WM being killed so quickly. Chapter 32-23, It's Your Turn. Wang Xian kept the corpse of the venerable golden WM and the acquired treasure into his pouch. He squinted his eyes and looked at the horrified universe supremacies from the 3 races. Run! Over 1,000 universe supremacies' eyes were filled with fear. They were so terrified that they wanted to escape. Their figures flickered and they wanted to escape immediately. Hua lolo. But when their figures turned illusory, the surrounding chains shook, preventing them from returning to their own god kingdom. This caused all of them to be shocked, and their gazes swept across the blood-red chains around them. Break through! A universe supremacy roared as he frantically tried to escape. Whoosh! Wang Xian waved his arm and the 5 elements grindstone flew out. A grayish annihilation river swept towards them. The horrifying river seemed to want to annihilate everything in the world as it engulfed all of them. The experts from the 3 races were horrified. When the annihilation energy landed on them, they screamed in pain. Among the 1,000 over universe supremacies from the 3 races, the strongest was a rank 4 supremacy. Against the attack of the 5 elements grindstone, they had no way of resisting. Soon, the universe supremacies died one by one, without any signs of life. Wang Xian flew over and waved his arm, sending all the corpses back into the Dragon Palace. He did not ask them to summon their universe god kingdom over as he was afraid of alerting them. Once the 3 races were wary, it would be extremely troublesome for his next move. Let's go take a look at the continental encirclement space. If there's a chance, I'll see if I can make a trip to the heaven-opening chaotic continent, the central continent of the universe. Wang Xian murmured to himself. With a jerk of his body, he flew towards a direction at a terrifying speed. There were no teleportation arrays in the continental encirclement space. If he wanted to go there, he would have to fly. Even with his speed, he would need a few days. The continental encirclement space was just 1 step away from the resplendent heaven-opening chaotic continent. That was the resplendent land of the entire universe, the origin of the universe. The great desolate continent was very, very large. There were all sorts of secret realms, grotto heavens, and races. All of the spiritual chi in the universe came from the great desolate continent, which opened the heavens. One could well imagine how terrifying that place was. The continent encirclement starry sky was also incomparably huge, with countless races gathered there. The weakest were the primary races of the universe, and the strongest were the intermediate races. There were also sects and religions. Each and every one of them was a terrifying expert. According to some people's rough estimates, there were hundreds of thousands of low-level and mid-level races in the universe surrounding the continent, maybe even more. Hundreds of thousands of the weakest primary races. What kind of concept was that? Of course, the continental encirclement starry sky was also very vast. The star river space was already very big. There were 50 to 60 elementary races in the universe. However, the star river starry sky was nothing compared to the continent encirclement starry sky. However, as an invincible rank 5 universe venerable, I can be considered an expert in the continental encirclement galaxy. Wang Xian murmured with a smile on his face. As he absorbed the memories in his mind, he flew through the starry sky. Although there were many powerful races in the continental encirclement starry sky, the truly powerful forces had already set foot on the great wilderness continent. Over there, a mid-level race with a universe venerable level 6 powerhouse would be able to attempt to land. If one had the strength of a universe venerable level 7, there was basically an 80% chance of ascending to the chaotic continent and establishing a clan there. Of course, this also depended on where you chose to log in. There were countless grotto heavens and blessed lands in the great desolate continent, and they were also divided into various grades. The stronger grotto heavens and blessed lands had more powers fighting over them. For instance, the Snake Princess race and the Twin races were situated at the periphery of the planar encirclement cosmos. The strength of the Horned Seal race could only be considered average in the continent encircling starry sky. The Snake Charmer race is easy to exterminate, and so is the Twin race. Only the Horned Seal race might be a little difficult, or even impossible to exterminate. Wang Xian mumbled to himself as he shuttled through the starry sky. Time passed day by day. On the third day, the surrounding starry sky underwent earth-shattering changes. Wang Xian looked at his surroundings with astonishment in his eyes. From time to time, huge warships could be seen shuttling through the void in the surrounding starry sky. There were also ships that looked like ancient sailing ships traversing the void. Wang Xian even saw a dragon boat-like aircraft roaming in the starry sky. There were all sorts of large flying artifacts. He looked at the bustling starry sky and was shocked. In the Milky Way and Galaxy starry sky, he had never seen such a dazzling scene. All sorts of flying artifacts could be seen everywhere. Other than these aircraft, he could also see all sorts of powerful demonic beasts and dire beasts as mounts. His eyes sparkled. Such a bustling starry sky, such a dazzling starry sky. Some of the flying artifacts are even postnatal spiritual treasures. Moreover, based on my senses, there are no less than 10 venerables in the surrounding universe. He mumbled to himself. This could be said to be the center of the universe. There were hundreds of thousands of powerful races and billions of living beings. The number of experts was naturally terrifying. Wang Xian continued flying. An hour later, he heard a roar coming from ahead. He saw dozens of warships and spaceships quickly making way for him. Everyone, make way. Please forgive us if we have offended you. Hurry, 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 catch it. Don't let it escape. Dragon scale chain. A delicate voice was heard. Following which, Wang Xian sensed a savage aura rushing towards him. He looked over and was slightly taken aback. In front of him, a terrifying beast of 100,000 meters in size was flying towards him. The beast was somewhat similar to a sea turtle, but completely different. It had a few heads. Wang Xian could see 5 of them in his line of sight. It was a giant beast of the starry sky. What shocked him even more was that dozens of divine dragons were swaying their huge bodies around the giant beast of the starry sky. They were using huge nets and chains to capture the giant beast of the starry sky. Except for one of them, the rest are not purebred divine dragons. However, they are still very powerful dragons. I didn't expect to see experts of the divine dragon lineage the moment I stepped into this starry sky. Wang Xian swept his gaze over and was astonished. Giant beast of the starry sky, purebred water divine dragon. The continental starry sky really surprised him. It's people from the water dragon palace. They are actually hunting that 10-headed giant beast of the starry sky. Experts from the water dragon palace. SSS, they are too powerful. They are very likely to capture that 10-headed giant beast of the starry sky. Exclamations came from not far away from Wang Xian. Chapter 32-24. In the boundless starry sky, 100,000-meter-long giant star beast was struggling to escape. It had 10 heads and a huge body, exuding a primordial aura. More than 10 divine dragons besieged it, trying to capture it. This shocked the people on the surrounding battleships and spaceships. The Scarlet Dragon 10-headed star beast was a very powerful existence. Judging from its aura, it had the strength of a rank 3 or rank 4 universe supremacy. However, the experts from Water Dragon Palace surrounding it were not weak either. A few of them had at least the combat power of a rank 4 universe supremacy. Especially the Water Divine Dragon, it was the strongest. Blue chains completely bound the Scarlet Dragon's 10-headed giant star beast, and a huge net formed by the law of water trapped it. The ferocious 10-headed giant star beast shook its huge body and struggled with all its might. "Beast, behave yourself." A delicate voice continued to ring out. A water divine dragon swayed her gigantic body and flew directly above the Scarlet Dragon 10-headed astral beast. Her body shook and water pillars rained down from the sky, blasting towards the Scarlet Dragon 10-headed astral beast. The Scarlet Dragon 10-headed star beast was in pain and shook its body frantically. Earth attribute law power vibrated in the surroundings. "Watch out!" One of the divine dragon species roared loudly, and they hurriedly tried to defend themselves. A few of the weaker members of the Water Dragon Palace couldn't help but fly backwards. At this moment, the Scarlet Dragon 10-headed star beast let out another violent roar. This roar was incomparably dull, making one feel abnormally uncomfortable. 100-meter round ball was spat out from the 10 dragon heads. "Watch out, it's a black meteorite. Its attack power is terrifying." A cry was heard as the water divine dragon in the sky warned. "Watch out." 10 black meteorites that looked like black holes attacked the 10 members of Water Dragon Palace. "Huh!" Wang Xian, who was standing at the side, raised his eyebrows when he saw the black meteorites and a dragon flying in his direction. Based on his calculations, the dragon in front of him would not be able to dodge this attack. Given the terrifying attack of this astral behemoth, this dragon species would most likely perish. "Shueyun, be careful. Dodge." A few other dragons exclaimed as they quickly flew towards him. The dragon species' expression changed drastically when it saw the incoming black meteor. Crash. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly. He hesitated for a moment before flapping his unbeginning sacred wings and arriving beside the water divine dragon in an instant. His arm turned into a dragon claw and pulled him to the side. Boom! An incomparably terrifying black meteor shot out from the side. What a powerful attack! As expected of a giant star beast. When Wang Xian sensed the terrifying energy coming from the black meteorite, he was shocked. The astral beasts were colossal beings in the universe. Every one of them had terrifying strength when they grew up. It was basically impossible for someone of the same level to suppress a star behemoth. Even an expert would find it extremely difficult to suppress a giant star beast. This giant star beast was still able to fight back despite being besieged by over a dozen powerful dragons. One could imagine how terrifying its strength was. However, this savage dragon 10-headed giant star beast was still incomparable to Lil Lan. Currently, Lil Lan had the combat power of a rank 4 universe venerable. Their size had already reached 1,000 kilometers. In the later stages, Lil Lan's size was comparable to a star. "Thank you for your help, sir." The experts from the Water Dragon Palace who were saved by Wang Xian looked relieved that they had just survived a disaster. He quickly thanked Wang Xian. "You're welcome. It's nothing." Wang Xian shook his head and retracted his dragon claw. Sir, are you also a member of the divine dragon lineage? When the expert from Water Dragon Palace saw Wang Xian's palm, he was shocked. He could sense the might of the divine dragon on the dragon claw. Wang Xian nodded with a smile. Thank you for your help. The Water Dragon Palace is extremely grateful. Above the savage dragon 10-headed giant star beast, the water divine dragon thanked Wang Xian. She held a huge water rope in her hand that bound the 10 heads of the savage dragon 10-headed giant star beast. Wang Xian watched from the side. He knew a little about the Water Dragon Palace from the Universe AI. Before the rise of the Dragon Palace, there were 9 famous divine dragon lineages in the universe. The weakest was the heavenly dragon lineage. The rest of the divine dragon lineage had all reached the level of a mid-level race in the universe. As for the Water Dragon Palace, it was neither strong nor weak among the other 8 forces of the divine dragon lineage. The strongest divine dragon lineage called themselves the ancestral dragon lineage. They had already entered the chaotic continent and entered the ranks of the high-level races in the universe. Wang Xian was very curious about these forces of the divine dragon lineage. At present, there were not many purebred divine dragons in the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace did not have the water divine dragon in front of him. According to the information on the AI, the strongest of the water divine dragon lineage seems to be a rank 5 universe venerable. Wang Xian murmured. Boom. At this moment, the 10-headed ferocious dragon star beast let out a painful cry. Its body was also riddled with wounds. It could be seen that the entanglement between the Water Dragon Palace and this giant star beast was not just a day or two. It's going to be suppressed. Wang Xian murmured as he saw the savage dragon 10-headed giant star beast lowering its head slowly. Success. At the side, the Water Dragon Palace dragon species that was similar to the Water Divine Dragon but with completely different dragon heads revealed an excited look when it saw this. Sir, you saved my life. This is for you. You are welcome to visit our Water Dragon Palace in the future. I'll go help to subdue this giant star beast first. He spoke to Wang Xian respectfully. He opened his mouth and spat out a water dragon pearl before flying towards the savage dragon 10-headed giant star beast excitedly. Wang Xian looked at the dragon pearl, raised his eyebrows, and revealed a smile. A rank 2 universe venerable water dragon pearl. Although it was not the dragon pearl of a purebred divine dragon, it was still pretty good. I can go to the Water Dragon Palace to take a look. Wang Xian murmured. He was also curious about the other divine dragon lineages. The Water Dragon Palace had purebred divine dragons. They must have obtained great opportunities and divine dragon legacies. Wang Xian did not continue watching as they suppressed the savage dragon 10-headed giant star beast with all their might. He moved his body and continued to move forward. The main purpose of this trip was to the 3 major races. The unbeginning sacred wings flapped and he shuttled through the starry sky at a terrifying speed. The first target was the twin races. Chapter 32-25, Wang, whoosh. The unbeginning saint wings flapped and Wang Xian shuttled rapidly through the continental encirclement starry sky. A day later, he came to a planet. This starry sky was very strange. The planets are all connected in 2. There were green trees growing in the void. These green trees were also connected in pairs. Even the humongous sun in the center was connected in 2. This was a very special starry sky. It was also this special starry sky that created a mid-level race, the twin race. Although the twin race wasn't very strong in the continental encirclement starry sky, they still had a foundation of billions of years. There were many disciples of the twin race and the entire void was the territory of the twin race. Just the number of planets occupied by the twin race alone was over 1 million. The number of the twin race had also reached a terrifying level. This special space had created this special race. It's true that different places raise different people, hey. When Wang Xian came to this starry sky, he could feel a special and mysterious energy in this space. This kind of energy would have some effect on a person. Someone on the AI called this the twin race territory. Seems like it's true. As Wang Xian spoke, He squinted his eyes and flew towards the main planet of the twin race according to his memory. The main planet of the twin race was very special. Ordinary planets were physical. However, the starry sky of the twin race was like a hornet's nest, densely packed. From afar, it was a shocking sight. The experts of the twin race lived in this hornet's nest. According to my memory, this planet is the ultimate treasure of the twin race. The entire planet contains terrifying wind-attributed energy. The closer I get to the center, the more experts there are of the twin race. Wang Xian swept his gaze across. This was the first time he dashed into the territory of a mid-level race in the universe. He had to be cautious. After all, it was a low-level race in the universe. He moved and his body began to turn illusory as he flew straight into the palace. The twin race could be sure that they didn't have any rank 5 universe supremacies. This made Wang Xian's infiltration very smooth. With his concealment abilities, only rank 5 venerables or above would be able to sense him. It was located at the core of the twin race's planet. It was also the largest cave in the center. After Wang Xian entered, he immediately sensed the intense law of wind energy. The height of the entire cave entrance was only 1,000 kilometers. If one looked up from below, they would be able to see the green energy. In the sky, there were also some trees and plants with the wind attribute. The sight of grass and trees above his head was indeed a little strange. But the interior was very beautiful. Wang Xian flapped his wings and flew inside quickly. The vegetation in the sky gave him the best cover. As they flew in, they soon saw the palaces inside. The palaces were arranged in a row, and at a glance, they were exceptionally luxurious. It's about time. We can start now. When he was about to reach the center, Wang Xian's eyes flickered. He took out the 5 elements grindstone and moved his palm. The fire divine dragon slowly appeared above the grindstone. First, lure all the experts from the twin races over. Murmuring, he waved his arm and the 5 elements grindstone flew forward. In the next instant, a roar reverberated throughout the interior of the planet. A fire divine dragon swayed its huge body and roared furiously. The might of the fire divine dragon wasn't very strong. It was only comparable to a rank 4 universe venerable. However, with the support of the 5 elements grindstone, the fire divine dragon's recovery and endurance had reached a terrifying level. Boom! Under Wang Xian's control, the fire divine dragon lifted its head and launched a ball of terrifying flames at the palaces ahead. What? What happened? Divine dragon? Fire divine dragon? Why did a divine dragon suddenly appear in our twin races? Beast! Quick, kill him. This was the core of the entire twin race, and also the place where countless experts of the twin race lived. When an inferno divine dragon suddenly appeared in their midst, the faces of all the experts from the twin races changed drastically. One by one, the universe venerables attacked the fire divine dragon. The fire divine dragon swayed its huge body and sent waves of terrifying flames towards the universe venerables. Oh no, this divine dragon is very strong. Why did such a divine dragon suddenly appear here? What the hell is going on? The group of universe venerables was shocked as they roared. Bam bam bam! In the sky above, the 30,000-meter-long fire divine dragon swept its tail towards the dozen universe venerables. Quick, dodge, dodge. The expressions of the 10 twin race universe venerables changed. Bam bam bam. However, there were still 5 to 6 universe venerables who were swept away and died instantly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this time, the sound of wind whistling reverberated throughout the entire planet. What happened? Highest alert. Enemy invasion. Who dares to invade our twin race? At the other cave entrances as well as in front and behind, many universe venerables of the twin races charged over. When they saw the towering flames of the fire divine dragon, their expressions changed. Why did a fire divine dragon suddenly appear in our territory? An old man with a wrinkled face, who was holding a 2-meter-long green tree in his hand, frowned slightly and asked with a grave expression. Patriarch, we don't know either. This fire divine dragon suddenly appeared in the sky above us. Moreover, it looks exactly the same as the legendary divine dragon. It should be a pure-blooded divine dragon. A two-faced old man flew over and said with a grave expression, "Send people to guard the surroundings. Surround and kill this fire divine dragon first." The twin race patriarch ordered with a stern expression. "Yes, patriarch. Kill this fire divine dragon." The old man roared and ordered the surrounding venerables. "Yes, Supreme Elder." The universe venerables responded immediately. In an instant, 700 to 800 universe venerables attacked the fire divine dragon. Around them, the twin race patriarch gestured to the group of experts and started scanning the surroundings. With the sudden appearance of a fire divine dragon, they had to be vigilant to see if there were any accomplices or conspiracies. "I wonder if I can annihilate the twin race just by relying on the 5 elements grind." Wang Xian hid in a corner and stared coldly at the battle in front of him. He had only ordered one divine dragon from the 5 elements grind to fight in order to attract all the experts from the twin race over. Chapter 32-26. On the twin race's main planet, the fire divine dragon was wreaking havoc. That massive 30,000-meter-long body emitted terrifying flames in this narrow space. In the face of the terrifying flames, the shrine below collapsed piece by piece. Even the ground started to crack. "Stop him. Don't let him destroy our planet." The few rank 4 venerables of the twin races roared with ugly expressions. They had over a dozen rank 4 supremacies and 700 to 800 other supremacies, yet they were unable to destroy the fire divine dragon. This made them extremely embarrassed. Not only that, more than a dozen supremacies were killed by the fire divine dragon's attack. "Activate the wind array and destroy this beast for me." The twin race leader looked at the battlefield ahead and bellowed with a dark face. "Yes, race leader." At the side, several venerables immediately responded. Buzz, buzz, buzz. In the next instant, a green light flashed across the entire space. Several terrifying wind swords formed. "Bind." In the center, a rank 4 venerable shouted when he saw the array activating. "Wind gods bind! Wind gods bind! Earthnet heavens bind!" Cold roars reverberated in the air as wind chains and wind bindings flew towards the fire divine dragon to restrain it. There should be over 1,300 supremacies from the twin races. Only over 800 are here. That's not enough. We need the fire divine dragon to hold on a little longer, Wang Xian muttered as he saw the other party using the power of the array. At this moment, the 5 elements grindstone at the core of the fire divine dragon began to operate. The entire fire divine dragon emitted an even more terrifying aura. Those flames turned into flaming divine swords and charged towards the surrounding wind swords. Bam, bam, bam! An intense collision could be heard, causing the expressions of the twin races to change drastically. "Oh no, the fire divine dragon is going berserk." The expressions of the dozen rank 4 venerables from the twin races changed drastically. At this moment, the Inferno divine dragon raised its head again, and a terrifying sun appeared in the sky above it. Ka. The appearance of the sun caused cracks to appear in the sky above the twin races. This was the power of the acquired spiritual treasure, Scarlet Sunday. When Kai Yang appeared, the destructive power of the fire divine dragon had already reached the level of a 5th-order universe venerable. "Damn it, kill." Seeing this, the expression of the twin tribe leader changed slightly. He waved the small tree in his hand. The small trees emitted green energy. The wind elemental small trees seemed to be whipping the starry sky as they attacked Kai Yang. Boom! An incomparably terrifying collision sound resounded. A large number of universe paragons were sent flying backwards. The fire divine dragon swayed its huge body and attacked the group of supremacies. Not good. The expressions of the universe venerables changed slightly. Boom! In the next moment, the flames engulfed them, and their corpses fell to the ground. Activate the power of the wind star. At the sight of this, the faces of the twin race leaders changed once more. He swung the green tree in his hand upwards. Ka. The entire planet seemed to be revolving as countless wind elemental laws began to condense. The vast wind elemental laws pressed towards the fire divine dragon. "Kill this beast." The surrounding group of universe venerables roared with bloodshot eyes. Since the start of the battle, Over 200 supremacies had rushed over after receiving the news. The surrounding twin race supremacies numbered over 900. Indeed a mid-tier race. Such a terrifying attack can defeat an ordinary fifth-order universe venerable. At this moment, Wang Xian, who had been hiding at the side, saw this attack and mumbled. "It's about time." Wang Xian was already very satisfied to be able to gather over 900 supremacies. After all, many supremacies might be cultivating in their own god kingdom or on other planets. Gathering more than 900 universe venerables should be the current limit. If not for the twin race's wind star being attacked, there might not be so many supremacies coming over. Boom boom boom. At this moment, Wang Xian felt a terrifying wind elemental law power coming from the entire planet. A huge sword formed from the wind elemental law power, as though it was splitting the entire planet apart, struck towards the fire divine dragon. Terrifying sounds of collision rang out continuously. The fire divine dragon's body slowly crumbled. Bam! Finally, the sound of metal colliding resounded. The 100-meter 5 elements grindstone appeared in front of everyone. What's this? This is an acquired treasure. What grade is this treasure? How could it be a treasure? When the twin race supremacies saw the 5 elements grindstone revealed after the fire divine dragon crumbled, they were all shocked. The patriarch of the twin race was also slightly taken aback. Following which, a fervent look flashed in his eyes. Acquired treasure? Why would a acquired treasure suddenly appear here? He mumbled, then bellowed, "Suppress and subdue it." Yes. The surrounding venerables immediately responded, their eyes burning with excitement. Not bad, not bad. To be able to defeat my weapon, the twin race is indeed strong. At this moment, a voice rang out, causing the 900-odd supremacies surrounding the 5 elements grindstone to be slightly shocked. Their bodies trembled, and their eyes were filled with shock. Who is it? The patriarch of the twin race's forehead was filled with cold sweat. He immediately turned around and looked behind him. Hee. Wang Xian chuckled, flapped his unbeginning sacred wings, and flew over slowly. Who are you? The patriarch of the twin race stared at Wang Xian, feeling his scalp tingling. They had used almost all their strength to deal with his weapon. What about his strength? Don't the twin race know who I am? Didn't you guys want to annihilate us? Wang Xian swept his gaze across them, his face filled with mockery. Ha! The patriarch of the twin race's expression changed. Today, all of you from the twin race have to die. Wang Xian did not give them too much explanation. With killing intent in his eyes, he swung his arm and the 5 elements grindstone flew towards him. Hualala! At this moment, chains spread out in all directions, locking all of them within. From today onwards, there will be no twin race. With a loud roar, he transformed into his divine dragon form and attacked them. You're from the Dragon Palace? Chapter 32-27. It's too late now. Wang Xian stared at the experts from the twin races with a cold look in his eyes. Roar. He let out an angry roar as he swayed his massive divine dragon body and attacked the experts from the twin races. The dragon scales on his body glowed brilliantly as he transformed into a terrifying fire divine dragon that swept towards them. Oh no! All the experts from the twin races, block it! At the sight of this, the patriarch of the twin races let out a horrified expression as he screamed out in horror. The fire divine dragon that they had paid a huge price to defeat was merely a treasure of the Dragon King. Now that the Dragon King was attacking personally, how terrifying would it be? His expression changed drastically as he scanned the surrounding chains. With a swift move, he did not surround Wang Xian. Instead, he charged towards the blood-red chains. He could feel a strange energy from the chains. This energy could prevent them from escaping in an instant. Swish. Then, when he attacked the chains, the 5 elements grindstone attacked him directly. The 5 elements grindstone spun with terrifying might. This might wasn't something that the leader of the twin races could withstand. Wang. Sensing the might of the 5 elements grindstone, he was appalled. Just now, the twin races had to send over a dozen 4th-order supremacies to suppress it. Now, he was no match for it. The green tree in his hand swayed with the green power of laws as it clashed with the five elements grindstone. However, a fire divine dragon emerged from the five elements grindstone all of a sudden. The fire divine dragon lifted its massive head and attacked the green tree. Ka. The small tree, which was an acquired spiritual treasure, was sent flying instantly. The leaves on it were slightly withered as the horrifying power continued to attack the leader of the twin races. No. Sensing the might of the five elements grindstone, the leader of the twin races was in despair. After a shriek, his body was engulfed by the five elements grindstone and he lost all signs of life. Leader! Leader! Everyone in the sky heard the clan leader's screams, and their faces were filled with shock. Dragon tomb, suppress. Wang Xian swept his gaze across with a cold look in his eyes. With a wave of his dragon claws, a humongous dragon tomb appeared below. Above them, the coffin lid of the dragon's tomb pressed down on all of them. A terrifying suction force came from the dragon tomb. Not good, dodge. We're no match for him. Run, 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 run. We'll take revenge for our brothers in the future. Terrified voices rang out from the surroundings. The death of the patriarch had caused them to lose all their will to fight. They also knew that they were no match for the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. The entire twin races were no match for the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. One by one, they moved and quickly fled in all directions. However, under the attack of the Dragon Tomb, more than 300 universe venerables were instantly suppressed. Trying to escape. None of you will be able to escape. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surroundings with contempt in his eyes. Gathering all of them here was to catch all of them in one fell swoop. Dragon eyes lock everywhere, lock. Five elements grindstone, river of annihilation. Wang Xian let out a deep roar as the dense chains around him began to shrink. The five divine dragons on the five elements grindstone lifted their heads and spat out five types of elemental laws. The five elemental laws intertwined and formed a greyish river of annihilation. The river of annihilation engulfed all the experts of the twin races. No. Under the terrifying attack of annihilation, the experts of the twin races screamed in despair. Bam, bam, bam. Corpses fell to the ground one by one. After more than 10 seconds, more than 900 universe venerables were all dead. Wang Xian swept his gaze across and revealed a smile. Wang. He waved his palm and an altar appeared in front of him. Enlai, bring sky formation over. With a thought, a voice sounded from the Dragon Palace. Yes, Dragon King. Within the Dragon Palace, Enlai nodded his head respectfully. 10 seconds later, sky formation and the rest appeared in front of him. Collect all these corpses. Sky formation, check if their universe god nation is in the vicinity. Wang Xian immediately ordered them. Yes, Dragon King. Sky formation looked around with excitement in his eyes. Dragon King, with so many corpses, our Dragon Palace can have a few more rank 5 universe venerables. You can improve first. Also, let Xiaolan and the rest improve too. Wang Xian said. Xiaolan, Xiao Zhai and the rest had incredible combat strength. Their improvement would be of great help to the Dragon Palace. Moreover, it would be better to have a huge war beast to travel through the starry sky. Xiaolan and Xiao Zhai were just right. Yes, Dragon King. Sky Formation nodded his head and immediately used his array to search for the god nations of those universe venerables. Enlai scanned the surroundings and started searching for treasures. Currently, Enlai only had the combat strength of a rank 3 Void God Emperor. He was considered the weakest in the Dragon Palace. Although his ability was more incredible, it was not of much use to the Dragon Palace. It was a pity that he had yet to find any Devil's Soul altar for him to improve his combat strength. Wang Xian floated in the surroundings and searched for treasures. All 5 elemental acquired spiritual treasures were absorbed by the 5 elements grindstone. If he encountered any light and darkness attribute treasures, he was considering if he should create a stronger yin-yang dragon board. Currently, the yin-yang dragon board that relied on his own energy was of little value. Time passed. What happened on the planet of the twin races had caused a huge uproar in the twin races. Countless members of the twin races rushed over and surrounded the planet. Looking at their home planet, the group of people revealed looks of horror in their eyes. Looking from the outside, the entire planet was in chaos. The auras of the experts in their race had all disappeared. Inside, there were still terrifying shockwaves from the battle. Even peak Void God Emperor experts did not dare to get close to it. What happened within the twin races? More and more experts gathered around and roared in shock. Hong hong hong! However, 2 days later, the entire planet suddenly collapsed, breaking into pieces and flying into the surrounding void. From today onwards, there will be no more twin races. If the twin races dare to establish a race again, we will continue to annihilate them. A cold voice reverberated in the void. Around them, the experts of the twin races shuddered, and their faces were filled with shock. Who is it? How can our twin races be annihilated? Who dares to speak such nonsense? The faces of the elite disciples of the twin races, who had been surrounding the area and had not dared to enter, changed drastically when they heard this. They shouted in disbelief. Hong! However, in the next moment, a huge and terrifying flaming dragon claw descended from the sky and covered the elite disciples of the twin races. Chapter 32-28, Boom! Around the twin races' main planet, terrifying dragon claws descended from the sky towards the experts of the twin races. Oh no, run! No! Most of the elite disciples of the twin races were gathered around this area. 80% of them were 5th Order God Emperors and above. There were hundreds of thousands of them. When the terrifying dragon claws descended, the elite disciples of the twin races were shocked. Bam! The dragon claws descended and covered all of them. Wang! A huge net swept towards them and collected all the corpses. In the sky, Wang Xian stood on the 5 elements great grindstone and flew away at a terrifying speed. 80% of the universe venerables of the twin races had been wiped out. What awaited them next was death. Next target, the Sheji race. The Snake Princess race has a lot of universe supremacies, a total of over 2,000, more than the twin races. If we were to wipe them out, then Dragon Palace's rise this time would be terrifying. Wang Xian murmured. Currently, there were more than 1,000 experts in Dragon Palace. In addition to the resources this time, there would be more than 3,000. Moreover, Dragon Palace could add about 4 more rank 5 universe venerables. After Dragon Palace improves, I can wipe out the Horned Seal race. Wang Xian's lips curved into a smile as he flew in the direction of the Sheji tribe. The Sheji race was not far from here, but it would take about a day to reach. Sitting on the 5 elements great grindstone, he took out the intelligence system. When he turned on the intelligence system, he saw that the news of the twin races being wiped out had already spread. The twin races were not strong, but they were not weak either. After all, they were a mid-tier race in the universe. Now that they had been wiped out, it caused quite a commotion in the continental encirclement starry sky. However, the commotion was not as big as Wang Xian had imagined. The continental encirclement starry sky was a very dangerous and cruel starry sky. Taking the disembarking battle as an example, to ascend to the chaotic continent, one had to defeat the other race. Wars of this level were usually wars of annihilation. Moreover, once a small race provoked a strong enemy, they might be wiped out. However, it was not as cruel as he had imagined. Even if it was a primary race in the universe, it still had quite a bit of deterrence. The moment you exterminate a race and let a few universe venerables escape, then if these universe venerables want to take revenge and kill your race's ordinary disciples, you won't be able to do anything. Therefore, exterminating a race was a rather serious matter for any race. Time passed slowly. A day later, when Wang Xian arrived at the Sheji tribe, he was taken aback. The snake charmers were different from the twin races. The snake charmers possessed a powerful bloodline power, allowing them to fight above their level. Their bloodline was more noble than that of the twin races. Therefore, the snake charmer clan did not have many clansmen, probably only tens of billions. But now, according to the memories in his mind, he did not discover any members of the Sheji clan when he came to the territory of the Sheji clan. There were no traces of the Sheji clan in the cosmos where they originally lived. What's going on? Could it be that the snake charms knew that I was coming to destroy them? Did he escape? Wang Xian frowned slightly as he scanned the surroundings. He flew straight towards a spaceship. This was a flying device similar to a dragon boat, with some people moving around on it. Wang Xian came to the front of the flying dragon boat. With a jolt of his aura, the horrifying energy stopped the dragon boat. Let me ask you guys something. Where did the snake charms go? Wang Xian's aura swept across, shocking everyone on the dragon boat. Their faces were filled with fear. Sir, we aren't too sure. It seems like they have moved to the horned seal race. I've just heard about it. An old man bowed and said respectfully. Huh? Wang Xian raised an eyebrow as his eyes flickered. He waved his arm and the dragon boat continued moving forward. That sir has terrifying strength. Yeah, he can stop our dragon boat with a wave of his hand. He must be at least a rank 3 universe venerable. Everyone on the dragon boat heaved a sigh of relief as they commented softly. Sure enough, the snake charms got some news and moved to the horned seal race. The horned seal race is not weak now, especially in their base camp. It's impossible to wipe out the twin races like we did to them. Wang Xian frowned slightly. Now that he had entered the base camp of the horned seal race, he wasn't even confident of killing his way out, let alone wiping them out. He floated in the air with a pensive look on his face. Go back now. Or I'll make a trip to the Water Dragon Palace. The reputation of the Water Dragon Palace is pretty good. I'll go take a look at the power of the divine dragon lineage. He made up his mind. This time, he rushed over to wipe out the 3 races. He also wanted to go to the chaotic continent to take a look. However, since he came across the Water Dragon Palace, he could go take a look. With a flick of his palm, Wang Xian took out the Water Dragon Pearl. The Water Dragon Pearl was a gift from the Flood Dragon that he had saved. This Water Dragon Pearl was a treasure that the Flood Dragon had cultivated for a long time. It was connected to his bloodline. Of course, he could also refine this Water Dragon Pearl into his own treasure. The Water Dragon Pearl had one ability, and that was to transmit sound. Holding this Water Dragon Pearl, he could contact that Flood Dragon. Let's go take a look. As Wang Xian spoke, he injected a trace of energy into it. There was no Water Divine Dragon in the Dragon Palace. During the peak of the Divine Dragon lineage, the strongest was a Water Divine Dragon. A terrifying existence at the creation level of Heavenly Yuan. This Water Dragon was stronger than the 5 Elements Dragon King and Yin Yang Dragon King back then. Wang, benefactor, what can I do for you? Soon, a virtual image of a flood dragon was formed above the Water Dragon Pearl. He looked at Wang Xian respectfully and bowed. Nothing much. I just want to take a look at the Water Dragon Palace. Wang Xian said. Welcome, welcome. Benefactor, you can follow the guidance of the Water Dragon Pearl and be a guest in our Water Dragon Palace, the virtual image of the Flood Dragon said to Wang Xian enthusiastically. All right. Wang Xian nodded. Soon, there was a message on the Water Dragon Pearl. He followed this message and immediately flew towards the Water Dragon Palace. Shui Yun, who is contacting you? At this very moment, he was in a vast continental ocean shrouded in clouds and mist. In the majestic underwater dragon palace, thousands of experts from the Water Dragon Palace in human form with 2 horns on their heads gathered. Seeing that Shui Yun was contacting someone, an old man asked doubtfully. Elder, it's the person who saved me. He said he's coming to the Water Dragon Palace. Shui Yun replied immediately. Huh? The expert with the bloodline of the divine dragon? He's coming to our Water Dragon Palace at this time? The elder of the Water Dragon Palace frowned slightly. Chapter 32:29, Elder, are you saying that he might be a hidden expert of the Fire God Palace who contacted us on purpose? In the Dragon King Hall of the Water Dragon Palace, a middle-aged expert of the Water Dragon Palace asked an elder. It's highly possible. Otherwise, how could there be such a coincidence? He happened to appear there and saved Shui Yun. Not long after he left, we were attacked by the Fire Dragon Palace. Everything is too coincidental. What's more, he's coming to our Water Dragon Palace now. The Water Dragon Palace elder nodded slightly. No way. Shui Yun's expression changed slightly. Then, Should we still let him come? Everything is just a guess. Let him come. He won't be able to do anything when he enters the Water Dragon Palace. The Fire Dragon Palace stole the ferocious dragon 10 heads this time and severely injured Linglong. I must take revenge and make them pay a heavy price. A burly middle-aged man and a woman sat on the dragon throne at the front of the Dragon King Hall. Both of them had dragon horns on their heads and looked dignified. Recently, the Fire Dragon Palace and the demonic dragon lineage have been very close. We have to be careful. They planned this attack. As soon as the middle-aged man finished his words, the woman looked down. West Water Tribe, send people to guard the surroundings of our dragon palace. Water Hidden Tribe, go and investigate the situation of the Fire Dragon Palace and the demonic dragon lineage. Yes, Dragon Queen. Below, the two old men immediately responded respectfully. Dragon Queen, Dragon King, they dared to attack the princess and the rest. We, the Water Dragon Palace, are not pushovers. I suggest we send people to assassinate their clansmen and kill every one of them we see. An old man with a broken horn on his head bowed and said in an awe-inspiring tone. That's right. Our princess is seriously injured. We can't let this go. The old woman echoed, her face full of anger. We have to think about this at length. The Dragon Queen pondered for a moment and shook her head. If the Water Dragon Palace and the demonic dragon lineage really join forces, we won't be their match. The development of the two clans has reached a bottleneck. If they want to increase their strength quickly and enter the chaotic continent, they have to think of other ways. They might have their eyes on us. Watching us. Aren't they afraid of going for wool and coming home shorn? The Water Dragon King said murderously. Shui Yun, if that expert from the divine dragon bloodline wants to come, bring him in. I'll personally monitor him. The Dragon Queen said indifferently. It's the Dragon Queen. Shui Yun nodded respectfully. Obviously, the Dragon Queen had quite a bit of authority in the Water Dragon Palace. Let's go, husband. Let's go and see Linglong. The Dragon Queen stood up slowly and walked towards the back. Order all members of the Water Dragon Palace to return to the Dragon Palace and be on high alert. Soon, an order was given. TSK, TSK, TSK. Your demonic dragon's dark world is really strange. It's not inferior to the Dragon Palace at all. At the same time, in a dark void, an enormous fire divine dragon swayed its illusory body and looked around. He, Fire Dragon Lord, my demonic dragon's dark world was modified by a powerful demonic dragon senior. It's of the same nature as the Dragon Palace. Isn't it much stronger than your Fire Dragon Palace? In front of the illusory fire divine dragon, a middle-aged man with dragon claws and a dragon tail floated in front of the illusory fire divine dragon and said with a faint smile. There's still a gap between you and our Fire Dragon Palace and the Water Dragon Palace. The illusory fire divine dragon shook its head indifferently. Ch, Fire Dragon King, have you found a way to break into the Water Dragon Palace? If we can't break into the Water Dragon Palace, everything will be in vain. The middle-aged man with dragon claws and a dragon tail snorted and asked. Don't worry, the preparations are almost complete. There won't be any problems. When the time comes, we'll still need your demonic dragon's dark world to cover us. The Fire Divine Dragon said confidently. All right, when do we start? The middle-aged man with dragon claws and a dragon tail nodded and continued to ask. We have to weaken their strength. Otherwise, even if we can destroy them, we'll suffer a great loss. This time, this Dragon Lord is here for this matter. The Fire Divine Dragon said indifferently. With a gentle swipe of its dragon claws, a star map appeared in front of them. There were a few words on the star map: Dragon Eagle, Ghost Dragon, Fire Cloud, Netherclaw. If it was an expert of the continental starry sky, he would definitely know what these words meant. About 10 days, this continental starry sky is really vast. In a void of the continental starry sky, Wang Xian flew quickly. However, according to his investigation, it would take him 10 days to fly from here to the Water Dragon Palace. His speed was already comparable to a rank 6 universe venerable. One could imagine how far this distance was. If Xiao Lan and the others are here, we might be able to travel faster. he murmured. Xiaolan's black hole shuttling was much stronger than his teleportation. It could almost instantly cross an ultra-long distance. However, to the universe, 10 days was not even the blink of an eye. As the days passed, he saw all kinds of spaceships in the starry sky. He also saw terrifying mechas. As a result, he didn't feel bored at all during the journey. I'm almost there. 10 days passed quickly. Wang Xian looked ahead, his eyes sparkling. It was a continent shrouded in clouds. The entire continent was incomparably vast. The faintly discernible continent was like a fairyland. That was the base camp of the Water Dragon Palace, the Water Dragon continent. According to his understanding from the Universe AI, there were tens of millions of Yolong dragons and members in the Water Dragon Palace. Among them, there were about 5,000 Universe Venerables. The Water Dragon Palace was not weak. If the number of purebred divine dragons was not hidden, there were 3. The Water Dragon King, the Water Dragon Queen, and the Water Dragon Palace Princess that they gave birth to. The one Wang Xian met last time should be the Water Dragon Palace Princess. Just as he was about to speed up, he sensed a wave of energy. This made his eyes narrow. Behind him, a hand reached out from the crack in the void. The black and ferocious hand seemed to have reached out from hell. The black hand was only half a meter in size and it grabbed towards him. What's going on? He narrowed his eyes slightly, and a chain wrapped around the black claw. Roar. The hand sensed the power of the chain and immediately shrank into the void. Come out. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes and his body shook. He reached out and pulled. However, at this moment, the black claw seemed to break and was pulled up by him. Dragon Eye. When Wang Xian saw this, the divine dragon in his eyes flickered as he looked down. Radiant Dragon Claw. His arm turned into a radiant dragon claw and grabbed downwards. Chapter 3230, Ghostly Dragon Nether Clawwang. Z. When the bright dragon claw reached into the crack, the sound of corrosion could be heard. TSK, how dare you sneak an attack on me? Get out. Wang Xian grabbed with his dragon claw and pulled out a 100-meter dark attribute creature. He squinted his eyes as he sensed the power of the bloodline of this creature. He could sense the power of the divine dragon bloodline from this creature. This was a semi-dragon. It had a 100-meter body with 2 horrifying claws and a bony head. It exuded a sinister and hideous aura. Let me go. Let me go now. The dark attribute semi-dragon stared at Wang Xian and roared with blood-red eyes. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and stared at the semi-dragon. Such pure power of bloodline. Even among the dragon species, it's considered strong. It's comparable to a high-level dragon species and can fight 2 levels above it. He was a little surprised. The divine dragon bloodline in this dragon species was very strong. It could fight 2 levels above it. Even at the peak of the divine dragon species, it wouldn't be considered weak. Soul assimilation. His eyes flickered and he immediately activated the soul assimilation power. However, just as Wang Xian cast the soul assimilation power, a horrifying roar rushed into his mind. In the next moment, a ghostly figure attacked him again. Courting death. Wang Xian sensed the horrifying attack and his expression changed slightly. He released the horrifying power of light from his body and the spears of light attacked him. Roar. The figure that attacked him was like a ghost. As though it didn't have a corpse, it dodged Wang Xian's attack easily and continued to attack him. Demigods, 8 divisions. Wang Xian focused his eyes and cast the law of the divine dragon. The mystical dragon phantoms from all directions bombarded the ghostly figure. Wang Xian's dragon eyes flickered as he locked on to the ghostly figure. It was a divine dragon with a hideous face. He didn't have a physical body and was a horrifying existence formed by the creepy dark energy. His head was similar to the divine dragon, but he was unusually hideous. His body was similar to the devil dragon. Another powerful dragon species. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with astonishment. Rays of light shone from his dragon eyes as the chains slowly extended to the surroundings. Roar. The sinister-looking dark dragon species was attacked by the 8 divine dragon shadows. Seeing the blood-red chains extending towards it, its eyes revealed a trace of solemnity and fear. Buzz. In the next moment, His entire body was like a cloud of black smoke as he quickly fled backward. It was extremely strange. Wang Xian frowned slightly when he saw him escaping. This strange dragon species was also a high-level dragon species. It had the combat power of a universe venerable rank 5. Two powerful dragon species actually ambushed me? Wang Xian was perplexed as he looked at the dragon species that he had caught. Let go of me now, or you will suffer a bitter revenge. The dragon that was caught by him glared at Wang Xian and roared. Buzz! With a wave of his arm, Wang Xian unleashed the power of soul assimilation once again. A wave of information entered Wang Xian's mind, causing him to squint his eyes and sparkle. Netherclaw, Ghost Dragon. This was the information he had obtained. Netherclaw was the name of the dragon species in front of him, and Ghost Dragon was the name of the dragon species that had just escaped. Netherclaw and Ghost Dragon belonged to the powerful dragon species of the Devil Dragon lineage. They belonged to the most powerful legion of the Devil Dragon lineage. The number of the two dragon species was not large, with only a few hundred members. However, they were the two most powerful legions of the Devil Dragon lineage, hunting all the experts that enter and exit the Water Dragon Palace. Is the Devil Dragon lineage going to deal with the Water Dragon Palace? Wang Xian checked the information in his mind and murmured. He also received another piece of information. Not only them, but the experts from the Fire Dragon Palace were also lying in ambush nearby. However, they were lying in ambush in another location. The ambushers from the Fire Dragon Palace also had a reputation that was no less than theirs. Dragon Eagle, Fire Cloud. This was the name of the ambush legion from the Fire Dragon Palace. They were also powerful high-level dragons. TSK, I didn't expect to be involved in the war of the Divine Dragon lineage unknowingly. Fire God Palace, Devil Dragon lineage. With a hesitant look on his face, he moved and continued to fly towards the Water Dragon Palace. Their war had nothing to do with him. He was just here to take a look and go back after a round. He didn't intend to stay in the Water Dragon Palace for long. When the strength of the Dragon Palace increased, he would come back to annihilate the Horned Seal race. Wang Xian pondered and continued to fly in the direction of the Water Dragon Palace. The corpse of the Netherclaw dragon was kept by Wang Xian. A high-level dragon species was not bad in the universe. For the bloodline and physique of a high-level race in the universe, crossing 2 levels was the limit. When he passed through the clouds and entered the sky above the Water Dragon continent, he injected some energy into the Water Dragon Pearl. Swish swish. Before he could get close to the sea below, a middle-aged figure flew over. My benefactor, welcome to the Water Dragon Palace. Shui Yun looked at Wang Xian with glistening eyes as he cupped his fists. It's really difficult to enter the Water Dragon Palace. There are ambushers outside. Chu Xian said with a smile. Ambushers? Shui Yun was slightly taken aback when he heard Wang Xian. He frowned and asked, Who attacked you, my benefactor? Netherclaw and Ghost Dragon. Is the Water Dragon Palace going to war with the Devil Dragon lineage? Wang Xian didn't hide what he had obtained and asked openly. Benefactor, please come in. This is not something I can decide. We are indeed in conflict with other divine dragon lineages. Shui Yun shook his head and extended his hand in invitation. He didn't say much. I'm also very curious about the divine dragon lineage. I'm here to take a look. Wang Xian chuckled and followed beside him. Benefactor, you are also a member of the divine dragon lineage. We naturally welcome you. Shui Yun smiled and didn't say much. Even at this moment, he was slightly wary of this benefactor of his. Wang Xian nodded. He also noticed Shui Yun's scruples. He followed him to the front of the Water Dragon Palace. Looking at the majestic Water Dragon Palace, his eyes were filled with astonishment. The Water Dragon Palace was dozens of times larger than the Sky Sea Dragon Palace. It seems like the Water Dragon Palace has also obtained a great opportunity. This Dragon Palace should be the Dragon Palace of the Dominator-level Water Dragon King. Wang Xian sized it up and was extremely surprised. This Dragon Palace was stronger than the Dragon Palace created by the system. This way, benefactor. Shui Yun led him inside. After passing through the Dragon Gate, Wang Xian felt like he was being watched. Chapter 32-31. Please remember this site's domain name, Booksea Pavilion, and find your way home. What a strong water attribute energy, what a powerful aura. Wang Xian followed beside Shui Yun and observed the surroundings with a face full of emotions. The spiritual energy contained in the Water Dragon Palace made him slightly astonished. Benefactor, our Water Dragon Palace is a fortuitous encounter between our Water Dragon King and Water Dragon Queen. It is the Dragon Palace of a ruler-level senior. Once we close the Dragon Palace, even a pinnacle universe supremacy powerhouse can forget about breaking in. Enemies who enter our Water Dragon Palace will be suppressed, even if they are pinnacle universe supremacies. Shui Yun raised his head slightly with a hint of confidence and pride on his face. The Water Dragon Palace was the Water Dragon clan's greatest trump card and reliance. Even if the Fire Divine Dragon and the Devil Dragon lineage wanted to deal with them, they were not afraid at all. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. He knew a little about the power of the real Dragon Palace. The Heavenly Sea Dragon King's Dragon Palace was the best example. The Water Dragon Palace only relied on this dragon vein. Other than the pinnacle races, it was difficult for other races to destroy them. Of course, there might be some strange methods. However, it would be very difficult to break into the Water Dragon Palace. This was the divine dragon that was once the strongest race in the universe. Wang Xian followed Shui Yun and met some disciples of the Water Dragon Palace. They looked at Wang Xian curiously, and Wang Xian scanned them. They were all semi-dragons, ordinary dragons. They weren't weak, but they weren't strong either. Wang Xian didn't take the arrows of the Water Dragon Palace to heart. Now that the Water Dragon Palace and the Fire Dragon Palace were in a tense state, it was only right to be on guard. The layout of the Water Dragon Palace was basically the same as the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, but it was larger. Many marine creatures and semi-dragons lived in it. There were all kinds of fish and semi-dragons, making the entire Water Dragon Palace exceptionally beautiful. Oh, by the way, have you subdued the ferocious dragon 10-headed star beast? Wang Xian asked after following Shui Yun for more than an hour. To tell you the truth, not long after you left, we were attacked by the Fire Dragon Palace. The savage dragon 10-headed giant star beast was snatched away by the people from the Fire Dragon Palace. Even our princess was severely injured. Shui Yun's eyes were filled with rage. Oh! Wang Xian raised an eyebrow. Welcome, friend, to the Water Dragon Palace. Thank you for saving Shui Yun's life last time. At this time, a graceful and luxuriously dressed woman walked over. She had dragon horns on her head, and she exuded a powerful aura. Water Dragon Queen, Shui Yun immediately bowed. It's nothing. I came to the Water Dragon Palace today because I'm curious. I want to see the inheritance of a purebred divine dragon. Sorry to disturb you, Water Dragon Queen. Wang Xian looked at the woman and cupped his fists. Not at all. You're a guest, but I'm afraid we won't be able to properly entertain you in the near future. You should know a little about the situation outside. The Water Dragon Queen said with a smile. There's no need to be so polite. I'm just here to take a look. I'll leave in a while. Wang Xian smiled. He could see the wariness of the woman and Shui Yun. It was already good enough that they didn't chase him away, a stranger who came suddenly. Your Highness, you haven't recovered yet. Don't run around. At this time, a voice suddenly came from the front. Soon after, a woman wearing a white veil and with divine dragon horns on her head flew toward them. Behind her was a helpless woman. I'm fine. Although my injuries are serious, they don't hurt anymore. I have something to discuss with my mother. The woman spoke with a smile on her face and flew straight towards the middle-aged woman. Why aren't you lying in bed? Why are you running out? The Water Dragon Queen looked at the woman with doting eyes. Mother, give me the dragon token. I want to go to the Dragon King Palace. I want to recover quickly. I want to teach those guys from the Fire Dragon Palace a lesson. The woman walked to the side of the Water Dragon Queen, held her arm, and said with a smile. Wang Xian looked at the princess of the Water Dragon Palace with a tinge of curiosity. She should be the one he saw the last time. In human form, she looked like she was 17 or 18 years old. Her body was full of life as though it was made of water. Even the dragon horns on her head were pink and tender. "All right, child, can't you see that we are receiving guests?" The water dragon queen touched her head with doting affection. I know. I won't disturb you." The princess of the water dragon palace let out a crisp and weak voice. "I'm sorry, friend. My daughter is slightly injured." The water dragon queen handed a dragon token to her daughter and smiled apologetically at Wang Xian. "I'm fine." Wang Xian shook his head and looked at the princess of the water dragon palace. Suddenly, he raised his eyebrows. After hesitating for a moment, he opened his dragon eyes and stared at her body. Within her body, there was a ball of red flame. She was also injured. To Wang Xian's surprise, there was a flame in this ball of flame that was connected to her head. Seeing this situation, coupled with his control of soul assimilation, and the reaction of the branches of the longevity tree and the soul-returning wood, he could basically confirm one thing. "Mother, I'll go and recover from my injuries first." The princess of the water dragon palace waved to her mother after getting the dragon token. "Water dragon queen, I have to remind you that your girl is now under someone else's control." Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before reminding the water dragon queen. "Huh." When the water dragon empress heard his sudden words, she was slightly taken aback and slowly furrowed her brows. "Benefactor, what do you mean by that?" Shui Yun, who was at the side, narrowed her eyes and asked Wang Xian. "There's another special energy in her body that is controlling her actions. It's better for you to check her out." Wang Xian continued plainly to them. The expression of the water dragon queen changed slightly. "What nonsense are you talking about? Who are you saying is being controlled?" At this time, the princess of the water dragon palace, who had just left, turned around and stared at him with dissatisfaction. Wang Xian did not speak but looked at the water dragon queen. "How can I not tell that my own daughter is different?" the water dragon queen said to Wang Xian. However, her eyes were flickering. "Linglong, I'll consume some energy to help you recover from your injuries." She looked at her daughter and said, "Mother, don't you believe me?" The princess of the water dragon palace pouted and said unhappily, "Don't be stubborn, lass. Heal your injuries completely so that I don't have to worry about you." The water dragon queen waved at her and looked at her with concern. "Be ****, you ruined my plan. You're courting death. No matter where you escape to in the universe, I'll annihilate you and wipe out your entire clan." Suddenly, the princess of the water dragon palace had a drastic change of expression as she stared at Wang Xian with a hideous look. Chapter 3232. Due to unknown reasons, this site is suddenly unavailable on Sogu today. "Bastard, you ruined my plan. You're courting death. No matter where you escape to in the universe, I'll annihilate you and your entire clan," the princess of the water dragon palace said in a menacing voice. At this moment, her aura had completely changed. She stared at Wang Xian with fury in her eyes. His plan was actually destroyed by this guy. "This is a plan I've been preparing for a long time." Seeing this, the water dragon queen's expression changed drastically. "Fire dragon lord, get out of my daughter's body immediately." She clenched her fists and shouted with reddened eyes. "Ha ha ha, water dragon queen, if your water dragon palace submits to our fire dragon palace, I can consider letting your daughter go. Otherwise, you'll only get a corpse." The water dragon palace princess stared at the water dragon queen and roared ferociously. "Do you think that's possible? Fire dragon lord, if anything happens to my daughter, I will make your fire dragon palace pay a painful price, even if it means that both of us are severely injured." The water dragon queen roared with murderous intent in her eyes. "Then let's give it a try. Water dragon queen, I'll soon destroy your water dragon palace. And you, damn guy, I'll turn your bones into ashes." The water dragon palace princess roared ferociously as her gaze fell on Wang Xian again. "Get out of my daughter's body." The water dragon queen was extremely embarrassed. She moved and appeared beside her daughter instantly. "Ha ha ha, you'll only get a corpse." Seeing the water dragon queen approaching her, the water dragon palace princess did not move at all. She said in a menacing tone, "Wang, A terrifying flame shot out from her body, and the body of the Water Dragon Palace's princess began to crack. No. Seeing this, the Water Dragon Queen's expression changed drastically. She moved her palm and terrifying water attribute power surged into her body. Annihilate my entire clan? Turn my bones into ashes? Hearing this, Wang Xian sneered coldly. Seeing the Water Dragon Queen trying her best to stop the overflow of flames, his eyes flickered. Her method will not have any change in the result. Wang, leave the Water Dragon Empress to me. Wang Xian waved his arm and the 5 elements grindstone flew towards the head of the Water Dragon Palace princess. Roar. The 5 divine dragons roared and the 5 elements rotated. The fire that shot out from the princess's body was converted into water energy that flowed into her body. Seeing this, the Water Dragon Empress was startled as she hurriedly retracted her palm and looked at the 5 elements grindstone in astonishment. As the 5 elements revolved, fire generated earth, earth generated metal, and metal generated water. The water energy entered the Water Dragon Princess's body. The remaining flames in her body were converted into water attribute energy through the 5 elements grindstone and entered his body. This formed a cycle, and the power of the flames inside completely disappeared. Ling long, ling long. At this moment, a furious voice sounded, and the Water Dragon King appeared at the side with an anxious expression. Husband. The Water Dragon Queen hurriedly pulled his arm, signaling him not to speak. The Water Dragon King's body trembled slightly. His eyes were filled with anger and worry as he looked at his daughter. Wang Xian looked on and moved to the front of the Water Dragon Palace princess. With a move of his palm, the branches of the Fushang tree and unending wood landed on her body slowly. The Fushang tree and unending wood were targeted at the soul aspect, and they were used to remove the remnant soul of the Fire Dragon Lord in her body. Wang. The radiance of the Fushang tree and unending wood shrouded the head of the Water Dragon Palace princess, and her hideous face gradually disappeared. Smack. She smacked her lips and fell to the side as though she was in a deep sleep. Wang Xian was speechless as he looked at her and reached out to support her body. The flames that overflowed from her body had gradually disappeared. Under the operation of the 5 elements, even her internal injuries had recovered completely. Ling long. Ling long. The Water Dragon King and the Water Dragon Queen walked over immediately with excitement on their faces. Phew, it's great that you're fine. The Water Dragon King checked and heaved a sigh of relief. Father, I seem to be controlled by someone. At this moment, Shui Linglong's eyelashes moved. She opened her eyes and shook her head in confusion. She knew everything that had happened just now, but it felt like a dream. She couldn't tell reality from reality. It's great that you're fine. The Water Dragon King touched his daughter's head and said softly. Wang Xian shook his head speechlessly as he looked at the confused Water Dragon Palace princess. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. If it weren't for you, we really can't imagine what the consequences would be. The Water Dragon Queen walked over and thanked him with lingering fear. They had never expected that the Fire Dragon Palace would plant such a terrifying seed when they snatched the giant beast of the starry sky. Perhaps the snatching of the giant beast of the starry sky was also part of this plan. Once their daughter was controlled and the dragon token was taken away, the Fire Dragon Lord would be able to open the door to the Water Dragon Palace and enter at will. The consequences were unimaginable to them. It might even be a disaster for them. It's all right. I was just helping out. Wang Xian shook his head nonchalantly. He had never expected to encounter such a thing. Phew, thank you for saving my daughter. Thank you. The Water Dragon King also walked over and thanked Wang Xian profusely. Wang Xian continued to shake his head. I haven't had the chance to ask for your name. I'm really sorry. The Water Dragon Queen bowed to him apologetically. From the moment Wang Xian came in, they had been vigilant in case he was from the Fire God Palace. If it weren't for him, it would have been a huge blow to the Water Dragon Palace and them. You can just call me Wang Xian. I'm also from the Divine Dragon lineage. As Wang Xian spoke, he accepted their gratitude. He had indeed helped them through a huge crisis. Thank you, big brother. I've seen you before. You're the one who suppressed the savage dragon 10-headed beast of the starry sky. Shui Linglong looked at Wang Xian with twinkling eyes and exclaimed in surprise. Yeah. Wang Xian nodded. I didn't expect your giant beast of the starry sky to be snatched away. It's all because of those bastards. Shui Linglong nodded. Thank you for what you did just now. If it weren't for you, we would be in big trouble. Hehe, Linglong, you really have to thank young Master Wang Xian. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have been able to do anything. The Water Dragon Queen smiled and looked at Wang Xian. Young Master Wang, let's go in and have a seat. This time, the Water Dragon Palace really has to thank you. All right. I'm here to take a look at the Water Dragon Palace and some divine dragon lineages. Wang Xian nodded. Chapter 32-33, Joining the battle on the battlefield. Hee, how is it? Look, I'm a purebred divine dragon, a water divine dragon. My parents are also purebred water divine dragons. In the entire Water Dragon Palace, only the three of us are purebred divine dragons. In the Dragon King Hall of the Water Dragon Palace, Shui Linglong transformed into a water linglong, swaying her body as she flew in front of Wang Xian. Her face was full of pride. It was suspected that there were only 3 purebred water divine dragons in the universe. The rest of the divine dragon lineage did not have any purebred water divine dragons. Impressive. Wang Xian looked at Shui Linglong swaying her body as though she was showing off. He smiled and praised her. Hehe, that weapon of yours is also quite powerful. I can sense a powerful divine dragon's bloodline power. Let me see your body. Shui Linglong turned into her human form and walked in front of him and asked curiously. Divine dragons were able to sense each other. Wang Xian could sense Shui Linglong's bloodline power, and Shui Linglong could sense his bloodline power too. Linglong, don't be so rude. The Water Dragon King glared at his daughter and said with a smile. It's fine. Wang Xian shook his head indifferently. With a move, he immediately transformed into his divine dragon body. He shrunk his body to about 10 meters. An 8-colored light radiated from his body. A powerful dragon aura made Shui Linglong widen her eyes and retreat uncontrollably. The entire divine dragon body looked abnormally radiant and majestic. Only the unbeginning saint wings slightly affected the beauty. But even so, Shui Linglong, the Water Dragon King, and the Water Dragon Queen were also shocked. Feeling this terrifying pressure, their faces turned solemn. The Water Dragon King and the Water Dragon Queen looked at each other. I didn't expect Mr. Wang Xian to have the combat power of a rank 5 universe venerable. Your divine dragon bloodline is also so strong. You must be a mutated purebred divine dragon? The Water Dragon Queen asked with flickering eyes. You can say so. Wang Xian nodded and returned to his human form. Mutated purebred divine dragon? Isn't that stronger than a purebred divine dragon? Shui Linglong widened her eyes and exclaimed in disbelief. She knew about the mutated purebred divine dragons, including the Bone Dragon and the Frost Divine Dragon. These mutated divine dragons were a level stronger than purebred divine dragons at the same realm. Even in the universe, he was an existence that surpassed the pinnacle. This was an alien species, and there weren't many of them in the universe. Wang Xian smiled when he saw her surprised look. Mutated divine dragons were extremely rare even during the peak of the divine dragon race. Who would have expected Mr. Wang Xian to have such a fortuitous encounter? On the stage, the Water Dragon King sighed. Let's talk while we eat. Linglong will bring young Master Wang Xian around our Water Dragon Palace later. At this time, the maids of the Water Dragon Palace served exquisite food, and the Water Dragon Queen said with a smile. All right. I'll take you to the Water Dragon Palace later. I didn't expect you to be so powerful. You're about the same as my father and mother. However, my strength is already comparable to a level 4 universe venerable. It won't be long before I surpass you guys. Shui Linglong spoke and slightly raised her head. These are some delicacies from our Water Dragon Palace. Please enjoy, young Master Wang Xian. The Water Dragon King smiled and gestured. All right. Wang Xian nodded. The food was a level 4 universe venerable fruit, made with some seasonings. There were also a few pieces of meat at the side, which contained majestic energy. This meal was extremely sumptuous. At least, it was the best food Wang Xian had eaten so far. Let's go. I'll bring you to the Water Dragon Palace. After the meal, Shui Linglong waved at him and said, "Hee hee." The Water Dragon King and Water Dragon Queen looked at their backs and smiled. If Linglong can be with young Master Wang Xian, it'll be a good thing. Watching them leave, the Water Dragon Queen said with a smile, "It's indeed the best choice. The offspring of a mutated divine dragon and a purebred divine dragon is very likely to be a purebred divine dragon. Even if it's not, it might be the legendary pinnacle dragon species." The Water Dragon King nodded slightly. "I'm not talking about the bloodline. I feel that Linglong is very enthusiastic about Wang Xian." The Water Dragon Queen rolled her eyes and said, "Haha, it's a good thing, a good thing." The Water Dragon King laughed. "Damn brat, how dare you spoil my plan? I'm going to kill you." Just as Shui Linglong brought Wang Xian around the Water Dragon Palace, in a faraway starry sky. The entire starry sky was covered in blood-red light. In the starry sky, meteorites emitting magma floated around, densely packed together. At a glance, this was the starry sky of flames. In the middle of this starry sky, there was a humongous flaming planet. It was dozens of times bigger and hundreds of times hotter than the sun in other starry sky. From time to time, one could see terrifying magma erupting. In the middle of this flaming planet, there was a humongous flame dragon palace. In the Dragon King shop of the Flame Dragon Palace, a fire divine dragon was roaring furiously. Below it, a dozen dragon-like dragons were trembling and crawling below, not daring to breathe. "Fire Dragon Lord, the plan has failed. If we can't open the door of the Water Dragon Palace, how are we going to attack it? TSK, what a waste of my time." At the side, a middle-aged man in black armor with dragon claws and dragon tail stood there. He looked at the Fire Dragon Lord and snorted. His eyes were filled with dissatisfaction. "Don't worry. Although this plan has failed, I still have other plans. I'll destroy the Water Dragon Palace," the Fire Dragon Lord said with a stern face. His expression was a little ugly. "Huh! You still have a way to open the Water Dragon Palace?" The middle-aged man with dragon claws and dragon tail was shocked. "Of course I can. Get your men ready," the Fire Dragon Lord said coldly as the flames on his body rose. "All right, Fire Dragon Lord, I'll trust you one last time. We'll strike in a month," the middle-aged man with dragon claws and dragon tail said coldly as his figure disappeared instantly. The Fire Dragon Lord let out a furious roar. With a wave of his arm, a crystal box flew over. He opened it slowly, revealing a dragon ball that was emitting a blue glow. The entire dragon ball exuded terrifying power. This was the Dragon Ball of the Water Dragon Palace. What a waste of such a treasure! The Fire Dragon Lord roared in a low voice. "Pass down my order. Kill everyone who enters and exits the Water Dragon Palace. Seal the entire Water Dragon Palace. I'll destroy them in a month." Soon, the order was passed down in the Fire Dragon Palace. Yes. The dragon-like dragons of the Fire Dragon Palace immediately responded. Chapter 32-34, Battle Below. How is it? Our Water Dragon Palace is not bad, right? Inside the Water Dragon Palace, Shui Linglong brought him around with a smile on her face. "Very beautiful." Wang Xian nodded his head and replied sincerely. The Water Dragon Palace was very exquisite, with all kinds of semi-dragons and marine creatures living in it. It was much more exquisite than the Dragon Palace. After all, there were only those dragon species in the Dragon Palace. There's something fun below the Dragon King Hall. Let's go. I'll bring you there. As Shui Linglong spoke, she led Wang Xian into the building. Dragon King and Dragon Queen, we found the Dragonhawk Legion and Fire Cloud Legion of the Fire Dragon Palace, as well as the Ghost Dragon Legion and the Netherclaw Legion. The 4 legions are scattered around our Water Dragon Palace. Right now, some of the disciples who are flying back have been attacked by them. When they arrived at the Dragon King Hall, they saw dozens of semi-dragons from the Water Dragon Palace reporting. Shui Linglong suddenly brought him in, which stunned the group of semi-dragons. They looked at Wang Xian in surprise. However, they knew their princess very well, so they weren't too surprised when the little princess suddenly came in. The Fire Dragon Palace and the demonic dragon lineage are going to war with us. The Dragonhawk Legion of the Fire Dragon Palace is good at reconnaissance, while the Fire Cloud Legion, the Netherclaw Legion, and the Ghost Dragon lineage are very good at assassination. They are going to seal off our Water Dragon Palace. The Water Dragon King said coldly on the dragon throne. Water Dragon King, with our strength, we are no match for the 4 legions. Below, an old man replied with a solemn expression. In terms of comprehensive strength, the Fire Dragon Palace is stronger than us, and the demonic dragon lineage is not weaker than us. Now that their most elite dragon legion is surrounding us, we, the West Water Tribe and the Hidden Water Tribe, can do nothing. The old woman said with an unsightly expression. The Hidden Water Tribe and the West Water Tribe were the strongest legions of the Water Dragon Palace, and they were also powerful dragon species. The 2 legions didn't have many members, only about 500 or so. These 2 legions were as famous as the Dragonhawk Legion and the Fire Cloud Legion. Seal off the Water Dragon Palace. They can't guard around our Water Dragon Palace forever. We can afford to waste our time with them. The Water Dragon Queen said with a sullen face. The wyverns below nodded slightly. This was the only way. They were self-sufficient in the Water Dragon Palace. The Water Dragon Palace's defense was almost invincible, so they were not worried about the other party attacking. Although he felt very sullen, there was nothing he could do about it. When Wang Xian heard their conversation, his eyes flickered. The 2 divine dragon lineages and the Water Dragon Palace are at war. Let's go. We don't have to worry about these things. Shui Linglong also heard the words of her father, mother, and empress, so she didn't care about it and pulled him towards the back. Although she was a purebred divine dragon, it did not affect the battle at all. She pulled Wang Xian to the bottom of the Dragon King Hall. This place was transformed into a crystal world using crystals. The entire space was dreamy and beautiful. How about it? Is it beautiful? My father made it for me, he. Shui Linglong said to him happily. Wang Xian nodded his head. He hesitated for a moment before asking, do you know much about the Fire Dragon Palace and the Devil Dragon lineage? Brother Wang Xian, why are you asking about these things? Shui Linglong was taken aback and looked at him strangely. Brother Wang Xian, are you trying to help us? Although you are strong, it's still very difficult to change the situation of the battle. The Fire Dragon Palace has 6 divine dragons and sky dragons with rank 5 combat power. The Devil Dragon lineage also has 5 to 6. Moreover, they have extremely powerful supreme treasures. As she spoke, she frowned slightly and continued, given their strength, they are able to fight on land. However, they might be afraid of losing too much. Hence, they have not entered the chaotic continent. 5 to 6. In addition to powerful supreme treasures, they should be able to fight against rank 6 universe supremacies. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows as he pondered deeply. They weren't weak, but they weren't strong enough to make him worry. Do you know anything about Dragon Eagle and Fire Cloud? Wang Xian asked her. He knew a lot about Netherclaw and Spectral Dragon and was clear about the strength of these 2 armies. However, he wasn't sure about Dragon Eagle and Fire Cloud. I have a copy of the information here, but it might not be 100% accurate. Shui Linglong took out the Universe AI and sent a message to him. It's slightly stronger than the information about Netherclaw and Spectral Dragon that I obtained from Solar Simulation. However, it's about the same. Wang Xian took a look and his eyes sparkled. The reason why he wanted this information was to participate in the war between the Water Dragon Palace, Fire Dragon Palace, and the Devil Dragon lineage. Previously, the resources that the Dragon Palace obtained from the Sky Sea Dragon King had greatly improved the Dragon Palace. If they could annihilate the Fire Dragon Palace and the Devil Dragon lineage, the Dragon Palace would improve qualitatively again. After annihilating them, the Dragon Palace could easily set foot on the chaotic continent. He might be able to improve his own strength. If he were to improve again this time, he would have the combat power of a rank 7 universe supremacy. A contemplative look appeared on his face. What's wrong, big brother Wang Xian? Shui Linglong waved her hand in front of him and asked curiously. Nothing. Wang Xian smiled and looked at her. Do you need my help to deal with the Fire God Palace and the Devil Dragon lineage? Big brother Wang Xian, you have a way? Shui Linglong looked at him in shock. Of course. Wang Xian nodded, took out the computer and sent a message to Prime Minister Turtle. How's the improvement of the members of the Dragon Palace? Dragon King, the improvement has been completed. Prime Minister Turtle replied quickly. Good. Get the strongest members of the Spike Dragon lineage, Arrow Dragon lineage, and Mystic Dragon lineage to prepare. 200 members each. Get Sky Formation to come over. Wang Xian immediately instructed. Let's go to the entrance of the Water Dragon Palace. As Wang Xian spoke, he looked at Shui Linglong. Shui Linglong looked at him in surprise, nodded blankly, and followed behind. Your Highness, the situation is critical now. Please don't go out. When they arrived at the entrance of the Dragon Gate, the 2 Water Dragon Palace guards said. It's okay. Just stay at the entrance and don't go anywhere else. Wang Xian said, and Shui Linglong immediately followed behind. The 2 guards opened their mouths, hesitated for a moment, and followed behind. Wang Xian walked to the entrance, waved his arm, and a summoning altar appeared. Wang. Soon, Ao Yarrow Sky Formation and the rest appeared in the summoning altar. A total of about 600 members of the Dragon Palace appeared slowly. Today's last chapter. Chapter 32-35. Dear readers, please remember the domain name of this site and find your way home. Greetings, Dragon King. In front of the Water Dragon Palace, Tianzhen and the rest appeared and greeted Wang Xian respectfully. On the side, Shui Linglong's face revealed a shocked expression. The 2 guards of the Water Dragon Palace were on high alert. Get up. Wang Xian looked at them with a smile. Tianzhen, Spike Dragon, Mystic Dragon, and Arrow Dragon. 3 elites of the dragon species. All of them had the combat strength of a universe venerable. Tianzhen's current strength had reached the combat strength of a rank 5 universe venerable. Among rank 5 universe venerables, he was considered top-notch. Brother Wang Xian, you are? Shui Linglong couldn't help but stare at him and exclaim. I belong to the divine dragon lineage. They are my subordinates. Wang Xian smiled faintly at her. Aren't the Fire Dragon Palace and the Devil Dragon lineage your enemies? I can help you deal with them. This. Shui Linglong's eyes widened and she didn't know what to say. Tianzhen, use the crescent moon in the sky and the array to check the surroundings. It's best if you can find out who is hiding in the surroundings. Wang Xian looked at the sky array at the side and instructed it. Yes, Dragon King. Tianzhen nodded. Brother Wang Xian, are you going to help us deal with the Fire Dragon Palace and the Devil Dragon lineage? They are very strong. Shui Linglong walked over. Her face was filled with shock as she stared blankly at him. I also want to see their powerful dragon species. Wang Xian nodded. He was really curious about these dragon palaces. Brother Wang Xian, you are the best. I'm going to tell my father and mother. Shui Linglong cheered and flew into the Water Dragon Palace immediately. The other 2 guards of the Water Dragon Palace stood at the side, looked at each other, and returned to their positions. Enlai. Wang Xian shook his head as he watched Shui Linglong leave. He turned to Enlai and called out, Enlai. Dragon King. Enlai bowed and waited for the order. I'll send you a set of information. When you go back, get Prime Minister Turtle and the rest to prepare. Then, we will destroy the Horned Seal race. Wang Xian said to him. It's Dragon King. Enlai was taken aback for a moment, then he nodded. Wang Xian had a rough understanding of the Horned Seal race's strength. After killing 2 Tier 5 supremacies, the Horned Seal race still had 4 Tier 5 supremacies. This number was quite a lot for the current Dragon Palace. After all, apart from himself, there were only 4 people in the Dragon Palace. However, the 4 from the Dragon Palace were incomparable to the 4 from the Horned Seal race. It was not difficult for the Dragon Palace to exterminate the Horned Seal race. As long as the Venom Horned Dragon could infiltrate the interior of the Horned Seal race, it would be very easy to destroy them. When the time came, he wouldn't even have to do anything himself. Buzz. Wang Xian waved his arm and a message was transmitted to Enlai's mind. Enlai clasped his hands together and disappeared. When the Dragon Palace wanted to exterminate the Horned Seals race, the heavenly array would be there. Wang Xian thought to himself as he looked at the sky array at the side. At this moment, the heavenly formation was setting up a formation, preparing to investigate the surrounding void. As a rank 5 universe venerable dragon witch, his strength was definitely one of the best in the Fire Dragon Palace and the Demon Dragon lineage. Buzz. At this moment, a dozen figures flew over quickly. The Water Dragon King and the Water Dragon Queen looked around Wang Xian with astonishment in their eyes. A rank 5 universe venerable array master. 600 subordinates of the universe venerable level. That light and darkness integration dragon is very strange. It must be at least a high-level dragon. The Water Dragon Empress glanced over and her eyes were filled with astonishment. So powerful. Big brother Wang Xian has so many powerful subordinates. Shui Linglong exclaimed when she heard her mother's voice. Young Master Wang Xian, you want to help us deal with the Fire Dragon Palace and the Demon Dragon lineage? You want to participate in our war? The Water Dragon King stared at Wang Xian and asked. Yes. The Fire Dragon Lord said that no matter where I escape to, he will destroy me. In that case, I can only let him know the price of his words. Wang Xian smiled faintly. Young Master Wang Xian, there's no need for that. If you stay in our Water Dragon Palace, they won't be able to break through our defense. With us around, they won't be able to hurt you. The Water Dragon King shook his head and said sincerely, It's okay. I also know that I can't compete with them with my strength, but I'll play with them first. Wang Xian said indifferently. He didn't intend to defeat or even destroy the other party when he called Roving Demon and the rest over. He just wanted to understand the strength and abilities of the 2 high-level dragons of the Divine Dragon lineage. To see if there were any hidden peak races. Of course, a large part of the reason was that the Fire Dragon Lord said that he wanted to destroy him. In that case, he would play with them. Anyway, with the Water Dragon Palace behind him, he could escape if he couldn't win. The Water Dragon King and the Water Dragon Queen were speechless when they heard his words. The experts of the Water Dragon Palace behind them also couldn't understand why the expert who saved their princess would do this. Since young Master Wang Xian is ready to make a move, let's use the Water Hidden Tribe and Westwater Tribe to play with them. The Water Dragon King said with a flash of sharpness in his eyes. Water Dragon King, we have the geographical advantage. They surrounded the Water Dragon Palace. Do they think we are easy to bully? Let them know how powerful we are. Immediately, the experts of the Water Dragon Palace echoed. That's right, let them know how powerful we are. The experts of the Water Dragon Palace roared. All right. The Water Dragon King nodded heavily with a hint of coldness in his eyes. Let the disciples of the Water Hidden Tribe and Westwater Tribe get ready. Kill. He roared with a murderous look. The west side is blocked by the Nether Claw and Ghost Dragon army of the Demonic Dragon lineage. The east side is the Fire Cloud and Dragon Hawk army of the Fire Dragon Palace. I'm going to let my subordinates attack the Nether Claw and Ghost Dragon army. Wang Xian looked at them and said with a smile. All right, let's go meet the experts of the Fire Dragon Palace. The Water Dragon King and the rest nodded with a sinister glint in their eyes. With a move, they immediately flew in the other direction of the Water Dragon Palace. Big brother Wang Xian, I'm with you. Are we going to make a move later? Shui Linglong stared ahead and asked excitedly. No need, we'll just watch from here. Wang Xian shook his head and looked at the heaven array in front of him. After that, the heaven spiritual treasure crescent moon shone in the sky. Together with the array formation, he began to scan the surroundings. As long as one's strength didn't exceed rank 5 universe supremacy, there would be nowhere to hide under his array formation. Dragon King, it's done. After a full 2 hours, Heaven Array waved his arm and reported to Wang Xian. Chapter 32-36. Spinosaurus's underclaw ghost dragon descend above the west dragon gate of the Water Dragon Palace. A 100-meter wide scene appeared in the air. From this image, one could see many figures hiding in one place, not moving at all. Wang Xian came to the front of the scene and squinted his eyes to scan it. 313 figures. There's a huge gap between the information I got from the Netherclaw. He stood in front and murmured. Dragon King, if the other party wants to avoid my detection, they either have to be a level 6 universe venerable or possess a powerful postnatal treasure. Tianjin stood aside and said to Wang Xian. It's impossible to have a 6-step battle prowess, but it's highly possible to have a Hutian treasure. Wang Xian recalled the ghostly dragon that had attacked him previously. That ghost dragon had the combat power of a rank 5 universe venerable, but it was still able to sneak an attack on him when he was already on guard. It should have a powerful concealment treasure. Wow, big brother Wang Xian, this man is so powerful. He could even detect the people from the demonic dragon lineage. On the side, Shui Linglong was looking at the scene in front of her with an astonished expression on her face. Hee. Wang Xian smiled, looked at Shui Linglong and asked, Linglong, may I ask how many acquired treasures your water dragon palace has? An acquired treasure? Our water dragon palace has 5 or 6, and I have 1 too. Shui Linglong slightly narrowed her eyes and spoke. Her palm moved and a ring appeared in her hand. 5 or 6. That's a lot. Wang Xian looked at the acquired cardinal treasure in her hand speechlessly. Postnatal treasures were extremely precious. A rank 6 or 7 universe venerable having one was already not bad. At his peak, the Sky Sea Dragon King had the battle prowess of a universe venerable level 9, but he only had 1 postnatal treasure. The Water Dragon Palace had 5 or 6 postnatal treasures, which should have been obtained in the Water Dragon Palace. In that case, one could also guess that the Fire Dragon Palace of the demonic dragon lineage would not have too many acquired treasures compared to theirs. It was very likely that the Underworld Claw Ghost Dragon possessed a postnatal cardinal treasure. Roving Demon, prepare to attack. Be careful, they might have a rank 5 universe venerable with a postnatal treasure. Wang Xian ordered as he looked at the 200 Spinosaurus species. Yes, Dragon King. Roving Demon immediately replied. Arrow Drakes, Phantom Drakes, the 2 of you will provide support at the front. If any Spike Drakes are besieged or are no match for them, help them out. Wang Xian continued to instruct Arrow Dragon and Succubus. It's Dragon King. Mao Zedong and the others immediately responded. Sky Formation, you stay behind and provide support. Wang Xian instructed the Sky Array again. Tianjin nodded and looked at Roving Demon and the others. Lock onto their positions and prepare for assassination. Roving Demon's eyes flickered with excitement as he ordered his subordinates. This time, they were fighting against Netherclaw and Spectral Dragon, who were both powerful dragons. Among these dragon species, none of them were weaker than universe supremacies. At the same time, they were also experts in assassination. This was a huge challenge for the spiky dragons. Yes, the spike dragons' bodies flickered with light as they looked at the Netherclaw ogre dragon. In the next moment, they disappeared into the void. Why did they suddenly disappear? I can't even sense their existence. Shui Linglong, who was sitting on the side, exclaimed in surprise. Wang Xian smiled and didn't speak. The spiky dragon's assassination ability might not be the best in the universe, but it was definitely in the top 3. Given Shui Linglong's strength, she wouldn't be able to detect the spiky dragon unless she tried her best. Oh yes, they addressed you as the Dragon King. Are you the Dragon King from the Dragon Palace? Following which, Shui Linglong looked at him and asked again. There weren't many divine dragons in the universe to begin with. The rise of the Dragon Palace would naturally attract the attention of other divine dragons. Shui Linglong also knew about it. In fact, her parents had made some guesses just now. It was just that they didn't ask directly. Yes, I'm here to settle some matters and happened to bump into you guys. Hence, I came over out of curiosity. Wang Xian didn't hide anything and nodded. Really? In that case, brother Wang Xian, your Dragon Palace is really strong. Are those subordinates of yours also powerful dragon species? Shui Linglong asked curiously. Not bad. Wang Xian smiled faintly. I I didn't expect the Fire Dragon Palace to join forces with the Devil Dragon lineage. Dragon Palace, you guys are helping our Water Dragon Palace. Hee, let's teach them a good lesson. Shui Linglong clenched her fist and smiled. Don't worry, teach them a good lesson. Wang Xian nodded and looked at the scene in front of him. Shui Linglong was also watching from the side with her eyes wide open. She was born in the Water Dragon Palace as a purebred divine dragon and was doted on by many. Even though she had the strength of a fourth-order universe venerable, she was still very pure. In the void around the Water Dragon Palace, the two core legions of the Devil Dragon lineage were hiding. The Fire Dragon Palace and the Devil Dragon lineage had formed an alliance and were ready to destroy the Water Dragon Palace. They hid here to weaken the Water Dragon Palace's strength and to seal them off. In fact, they had already achieved great results. In the beginning, they had already assassinated hundreds of thousands of Water Dragon Palace disciples without the Water Dragon Palace knowing. Among them, there were many universe venerables. Even in the end, they didn't really expose themselves. As a member of the Devil Dragon lineage, they were most proud of having terrifying assassins. Netherclaw and Ghost Dragon were two terrifying assassination dragon species. They hid in the void and even those stronger than them would find it difficult to sense them. Once they attacked, they would definitely be killed. They had the confidence to assassinate any expert of the same level. Now, they knew that the Water Dragon Palace knew of their existence, but they still didn't have the slightest fear. Before the Water Dragon Palace wanted to surround and kill them, they had already sensed it and left quickly. Moreover, with the strength of their leader, he wasn't afraid even if he faced the top experts of the Water Dragon Palace. All the Netherclaw ghost dragons hid in the void crack and looked around with a pair of cold eyes. They were waiting for their prey. They guarded the surroundings. Just hiding in the darkness will be illuminated by the light. Wandering in the light and darkness is the real assassination. All the Netherclaw and ghost dragons didn't notice that they had been exposed to the powerful array. What they didn't expect was that there were already figures approaching them quickly. I've been busy for the past few days. Chapter 32-37, Buzz. In the cloudless starry sky, everything seemed calm and tranquil. The wind whistled, but there was nothing strange about it. Pu. But strangely, drops of blood suddenly flowed out from a spot in the void. Blood flowed out of the void in a strange manner. There was more than one spot in the surrounding void. This scene made one's scalp go numb. Who's the sneak attack? Suddenly, an incomparably violent and furious voice exploded in the air. Immediately after, a terrifying claw tore through the void and a pair of cold eyes scanned the surroundings. Did someone sneak attack us? Is it someone from the Water Hidden tribe? Another ferocious-looking, boneless, and liquid-like existence also appeared in the void. His blood-red eyes stared in one direction, and his face was filled with killing intent. How dare they ambush our people? Kill them. All Netherclaw ghost dragons, be careful. The ghost dragon leader and the Netherclaw leader had a ferocious look on their faces as they warned loudly. Buzz. In the next moment, Ghost Dragon waved its claws, and a terrifying dark light attacked the void in front of it. Retreat. Roving Demon sensed the attack of the spectral dragon leader and gave the order to retreat. Buzz. In the void, figures quickly retreated in the direction of the Water Dragon Palace. Kill them. The leader of the ghost dragon Netherclaw growled and ordered his underlings in the sky. Roars could be heard as figures emerged from the cracks in the void. However, when the leader of the ghost dragon Netherclaw saw these figures, its body trembled. Why are there only 200? Where are the other members? All Netherclaws, come out. All ghost dragons, come out. When the ghost dragon Netherclaw leader saw that the ghost dragon Netherclaw only had 200+ members, his expression changed and he roared. However, there was no response. This caused the ghost dragon Netherclaw's leader's expression to change slightly. The rest of the ghost dragon Netherclaws also narrowed their eyes, revealing a fearful expression. Kill them. Malevolent looks appeared on their faces. Their figures flashed as they attacked all the spike dragons. Streaks of horrifying dark energy shot forward. Su. However, at this time, The group of spike dragons had already flown towards the water dragon palace at their fastest speed. Even those who were further away returned to the dragon palace the moment the ghost dragon Netherclaw leader discovered them. "Follow me and kill." The Netherclaw and ghost dragon leader's eyes were filled with bloodlust and anger. The Netherclaw and ghost dragons were the core legion of the demon dragon bloodline. They were the strongest dragon species in the entire demon dragon bloodline, excluding the demon dragon king. The total number of soldiers in the two legions was no more than 400. This time, only about 300 people came. But now, he had lost about 100 subordinates. Although 100 wasn't a lot, it was a quarter of the Netherclaw ogre dragons. This was a quarter of the mystic dragon's elite army. More than 100 members were killed, which was a considerable loss to the entire demon dragon bloodline. After all, this was a powerful high-level dragon species, and their numbers were limited. "Kill them. How dare they assassinate us? Kill them." The group of ghost dragons and Netherclaw roared. As powerful assassins of the demonic dragon bloodline and the divine dragon bloodline, more than 100 of their companions had been assassinated without a trace today. As powerful assassins, they were actually assassinated. This made them feel angry and humiliated. At the same time, they were a little frightened. What kind of enemy could assassinate them? Heh! At the same time, Wang Xian frowned slightly when he saw the scene in front of the water dragon palace. They only assassinated about 100 Netherclaw ogre dragons and they are attacking so crazily. He murmured with cold murderous intent in his eyes. "Let them see our strength." Tian Zhen's gaze swept across Zi Sen's group as he said coldly. "All right." The group of arrow dragons and phantom dragons squinted their eyes. The leader of the phantom dragons held the black spider lilies and exuded a faint, creepy aura. She had already evolved into a phantom dragon. Now that she controlled the black spider lilies, she would be even more terrifying. "They're here. Leave the two Netherclaw leaders with rank 5 supremacy combat power to me. The rest are yours. Try to kill as many as you can." At this time, the group of spike dragons flew over. Tianjin saw the Netherclaw ogre dragons chasing after them and narrowed his eyes. Buzz. Buzz buzz buzz. The leader of the phantom dragons waved her arm and the black spider lilies in her hands launched an attack. The rest of the phantom dragons followed closely and a creepy sound engulfed them. Energy condensed into extremely charming eyes in the air and the Netherclaw ogre dragons attacked. Swish swish swish. In the next moment, the arrow dragon at the side attacked them with terrifying arrows. Ambush. Me. The leaders of the Netherclaw and ghost dragons saw the incoming attack and had a cold look in their eyes. They waved their arms and waved their claws at the same time to attack. The reason why they dared to chase after them was because they were confident in their own strength and understanding of the Water Dragon Palace. With their strength and the treasures in their hands, they could easily retreat. Boom! The moment they made their move, the surrounding array formation also moved. Array formations that had been set up in advance shrouded them. Heh! What? Since when did the Water Dragon Palace have sorcerers? When they saw the sudden attack, their expressions changed slightly. Retreat. The leader of the Netherclaw and Ghost Dragons felt that something was amiss. They made a prompt decision and shouted without hesitation. They were originally prepared to kill the guy who ambushed them. Now, they could only give up. You think you can leave just because you want to? Tianjin had a cold look in his eyes and waved his arm again. Boom boom. In an instant, all the arrays set up in the surroundings exploded. At this time, the strange attacks of the phantom dragons and arrow dragons had arrived. Dodge. The group of ghost dragons and Netherclaw dodged to the side and prepared to leave. Buzz. However, when they glanced at those creepy eyes, they were in a trance. Some of the Netherclaw and Ghost Dragons who were only rank 1 or 2 universe supremacies were in a trance. Fut fut fut. However, just as they were in a daze, arrows pierced through their bodies. Damn it, what kind of creepy attack is this? Everyone, retreat.